Now, the 14th of June will mark 6 years since the Grenfell Tower fire, which tragically saw 72 people lose their lives.
Today, the Prince of Wales will visit Loftus Road, the home of Queen's Park Rangers Football Club, to hear how the club has provided invaluable support since the tragedy, as well as meet some of the affected community.
Well, let's cross live now to our Royal Correspondent, Cameron Walker, who's outside the stadium, to let us know what's happening right now.
Hi, Esther. Yes, well, I think it's a tragedy, really, which really affected Prince William. It was just 2 days after the tragic fire, which, as you said, claimed the lives of 72 people, that he and his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, visited emergency service workers and survivors and those who had quite literally lost everything in that fire. Last year, he attended the 5th anniversary memorial service alongside the Princess of Wales at the foot of Grenfell Tower. He also took part in a special DIY SOS episode of refurbishing a boxing club used by Grenfell Tower survivors. So you might be wondering why I'm stood outside a football stadium rather than Grenfell Tower itself, and as you said, it is because Prince William is here. He's going to be meeting survivors and bereaved family members as well, but also the Queen's Park Rangers Football Club has provided a lot of support, actually, to Grenfell Tower survivors over the last 6 years, because they have a particular trust, and Prince William will be meeting the former Queen's Park Rangers and England striker Les Ferdinand a bit later on today, and the chief executive of the community trust run by Queen's Park Rangers here, and they have funded community workers who provide support to Grenfell Tower survivors, and that support includes mentoring. It provides mental health support as well, and personal development too for those who quite literally lost everything almost 6 years ago. That following all of that, as I've said, he is going to be meeting survivors, but also members of a community who'd set up local fundraising activities to raise money for Grenfell survivors. So football matches like Games for Grenfell and the Grenfell Memorial Cup, the organisers of those Prince William will be meeting a little bit later on today. So that's all expected to kick off, as it were, a bit later on, and I'll be keeping you right up to date here on GB News.
Cameron, we've just been talking about security of Whitehall, security of MPs and ministers, but actually you also have to think about the security of the royal family, and we've just heard there was an assassination attempt on the Queen. What was it, back in 1983? Can you give us some more information on that?
Yes, so this is a bunch of files that has been released by the FBI following the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and one of those files talks of a 1983 assassination plot to kill Queen Elizabeth II when she was on a visit to California. So the tip-off came from a police officer in San Francisco who frequented an Irish pub, and an Irish man basically threatened to kill Queen Elizabeth II. He was seeking revenge for his daughter, who had been killed in Northern Ireland by a rubber bullet. Now, that threat came on the 4th of February 1983, so around a month before the Queen and Prince Philip travelled to California, and the alleged assassination attempt included dropping an object from the Golden State Bridge in San Francisco onto the Royal Yacht Britannia as it was sailing underneath, as well as an assassination attempt in Yosemite National Park too. Now, in response to the threat, the Secret Service closed off the walkways of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco to stop anyone dropping objects. It's understood there was also some measures put in place at Yosemite National Park as well, although we're not exactly sure what that particularly was. But of course, no assassination attempt was made. Queen Elizabeth still travelled to California, so it looks like security services and the FBI did a good job.
Cameron Walker, thank you very much indeed. You forget about all of this is going on every minute of the day to keep everybody protected there, and we'll be catching up with him later and with Prince William.